your responsibilities in the industry have likely changed since you started. So Tom, what comes to mind when you see your change that you've happened?
I think the biggest change is really understanding and moving from looking at devices and screens to looking at contexts in themselves.
Mhm.
A lot of the focus has been on web, mobile, and living room or connected TV as that holy trinity when it comes to application imprints. At the same time, we're starting to see screens put anywhere and everywhere with a desire to be able to watch content there. One of the newest modalities that my team has had the experience of working on has been automotive and understanding how to get application experiences there in a situation that shares some similarity with connected TV experiences being very theatrical, very immersive,
Mhm.
but can also be very personal and very intimate depending on how many people are in the car with you, whether it's a shared experience versus a solitary experience. And how do you build applications to really solve that context well versus just looking at it as a specific screen dimensions at a specific location?
Okay. All right. Yeah, very interesting. So, I'm sure that, in fact, we talked earlier about how many screens we all have. There was a lot. Brandon, how about you? What's changed for you since you started in the industry? And it can be on a personal level.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is something to be said about, just how many platforms there are to watch things on now. We were listing off all these different TVs and streaming sticks and, the context of like where in your house you're watching something. And it's so different from, sitting on your couch and watching something on your TV to laying in bed and watching like something on your phone. I think there's this unique challenge in the streaming industry to kind of uh, have your design or have your service and your product kind of translate your brand and the content that you're trying to present to the user over this breadth of platforms. And the challenge is how do we identify the needs of the user based on what they're watching and where and how and on what platform and what the intent is based on what platform they decide to watch from. And I'm trying to think modularly about all these different entry points that the user has into watching their favorite content nowadays. It's not so straightforward. There are different remotes, different platforms, different touch points for all of these different things, all these affordances to take into account. So it's a very fun and unique puzzle at times.
Okay. Esther, how about you? Since you started off, what do you think has been the key thing that really has resonated as change?
Yeah, similar to Tom, I think for me, it's really been looking with a broader lens. So definitely beyond any individual device type or screen type and looking at the broader ecosystem. I think in terms of my personal sort of changes is looking at the changing discipline of UX.
Mhm.
It's, goes beyond just how UIs look. It's not just a visual look and feel, but it's incorporating, really understanding pain points and needs of our users, leveraging research, which we've always done, but it's quant, data science, and an emphasis on, I think, content design and content strategy, how we're communicating in product. But one of the things that have been most exciting, I think, is, on the YouTube TV side, is really taking into account a broad swath of different viewers coming in with different backgrounds and understanding. Brandon mentioned remote controls, like for many people that are cutting the cord, being really sort of familiar with a remote control with many different buttons, and how do you bring them over to a TV experience that may not have the reliance on those types of shortcut controls and buttons that you might be used to. And so I think it's really thinking about how to modernize the TV experience and bringing along a wide range of different viewers with different contexts.